In this video, I wanted to really talk about my planners and just a quick update on like my Hobonichi cousin because she's like the main star. I will be honest and say that I've been struggling. I have been struggling with my Hobonichi cousin. I don't know if I mentioned this exclusively in the last video. I am struggling a little bit with my cousin because I'm struggling with journaling in general right now. And the reason that I'm struggling with journaling right now is because of the massive career shift that I'm about to do in my life. If you didn't watch the last video, I basically mentioned that I will be losing my current job by the end of the year. And it's kind of forced me into this place where I need to figure out like what I want to do next. If I'm being transparent, it's very difficult right now for me to even get a job. I have been applying to jobs for a while now, actually, just because there were so many rounds of layoffs at my current job, and I just felt like this was going to be inevitable either way. So I have been actually applying to jobs pretty frequently, and I haven't really gotten a bite. I just know I don't want to be a corporate girly. I don't want to be a corporate boss girly where I'm telling people what to do and I'm managing people and I'm being a lead. I just don't feel the passion in that unless I am managing and leading my own company. I think a lot of people can understand that. Like, not everybody is a corporate person, or, you know, not everyone is like trying to become like, I don't know, like a C-suite level person in their career. Like, that's like too much stress for me. Like, if I'm being honest, like it's too much for me to handle the stress that some of like directors and leads get. It ain't for me, basically. So I really just had to think about what I wanted to do because I feel like I'm in this rut with my career. Like right now, because the struggle is so real, that is why I've kind of come to this place of like contemplation where I really need to figure out what it is that I want to do if I don't want to climb the corporate ladder, because that's kind of the two options I have right now. And I mean, I guess you could argue to say that like, well, you don't have to start over. You could just get another mid-level position, right? It is difficult for me to get a mid-level position because I'm competing with a lot of young people. So unfortunately, I mean, I can't say this for other positions out there. Like maybe it's different for like, I don't know, if you're in accounting or like business of some sort, or like if you're a HR person. I mean, but for design positions, there is some ageism. Design, especially graphic design, it's such a saturated, overly saturated field. All that is to say that like, I just don't really feel confident working in a corporate position anymore because, you know, whether it's not racism, whether it's ageism or not, or something else, like I just don't feel like I belong anymore. I'm always gonna be a designer though. Like, I'm not giving up design. Like, I've been doing it my whole life, adult life. I'm not gonna just stop now. But I do think that the shift and the changes might mean that like I have to start doing my own thing. So in 2026, there's going to be a lot of changes, which I will talk about more when I start going into my planner stuff. But I just wanted to share the struggles that I'm having with my Hobonichi planner. My Hobonichi cousin. So I absolutely love my cousin. I think you guys know that. I just feel like right now, because of all of these thoughts that I'm having, because of all of these changes and the career shifts, in 2026, I realized that I really need to focus on organizing my life. Like, I need to focus on planning things better and just like in general, like be a little bit more on top of like a schedule. I have always slacked with planners. I've just never been good with planners. Like with my planners right now, I mean, they're pretty simple. They're bare bones. Like, I just write out what I need for the week ahead. But because of all the shifts that's gonna happen in 2026, and I'm no longer gonna have like this easy job that I've had for a while now, I just know that I need to be a little bit more on top of things. I need to have a better schedule because otherwise I'm the type of person that is completely okay with doing absolutely nothing all day. I don't even know how I have come this far and not become a bum sometimes because like I just love to turn off my brain and like lay on my couch. Right now, because my brain is so focused, like hyper focused on what to do in 2026 or at the end of this job, my career in general, and just like life in general, because I'm so hyper focused on it, I'm finding it hard to focus on journaling, especially in a big book like my cousin. That being said, I always find a way to backfill pages and then we're all good. We're all Gucci again. But like right now, I'm just showing you guys like just the realness of missing all of these pages. I don't know if I'll backfill them. I may not. Even like the beginning of this month, I just kind of filled it with a lot of the Lo-Fi Ghost stuff because it was easy to just... And also because, to be fair, I was working on my zine and I'm very one-track minded. Like I can't multitask. So I was just working on my zine a lot, which is reflected in the first few pages of October. But traditionally, I mean, this is kind of a shocker because October is my favorite month. And traditionally, I have like multiple journals going on. Like in October, I'll usually try and start like an October Halloween journal. I go kind of all out with my regular journals, like, or I even have like micro journals. Like I love October and like all of the spooky season stuff like so damn much. And I'm struggling for the first time in a long time in October. Because even when I'm like mentally struggling, it doesn't matter. Like October just makes like everything feel like better for me, but I'm struggling. I mean, I did manage to write out my thoughts in a couple of these, but by the way, I have to show you guys, sorry, random side thing, but I have to show you guys how pretty this ink is. I don't know if that will show on camera actually, but it's like super sparkly and it kind of reminds me of like the golden leaves outside. Do you guys see that sparkle at all? Maybe not. I probably look crazy right now. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I was struggling a lot. Oh, also, here's a little hint of something new I want to show you guys. If you know, you know. If you don't, you'll know in a minute. And then, yeah, we got to here and it's not that bad, but I was struggling quite a bit to just keep up with the journaling. Also, oh my gosh, how funny is this drawing? I think this drawing is so funny. I was trying to draw the girl from The Ring, Samara, like her coming out of the TV, but it just looks so bad. Just looks so weird. But I was watching The Ring. Every October I do like the whole like 31 days of Halloween movies or whatever. Not like every single, like I'm not good about it every single day, but I'm usually putting some Halloween type of movie or show in the background. And the other day I had The Ring on and I just remember like, I feel like The Ring was the movie that traumatized me. Oh yeah, that's what I said. One movie traumatized you when you were a kid. This was actually a question from a Reddit post and I was like, The Ring. The Ring. I was like in middle school. I snuck in to watch this movie with my friend in Virginia. Just the absolute terror of seeing Samara come out of the TV in a big screen TV at the movie theater was just, it really did traumatize me. Like I could not sleep with the TV. Like in my room, I had the TV in front of me. And I could not sleep with that TV facing me for like months. But anyway, The Ring is one of those movies that still traumatizes me to this day and is terrifying and simultaneously is sort of comforting in a weird way. I guess just because it reminds me of my childhood. And back then I watched so many scary movies and it was just so fun to be scared. And then now like, I'm just like, nah, like I cannot do scary movies. I can't do jump scares. Like I really am on the verge of getting a heart attack. But watching a lot of Gilmore Girls. I'm on season 6 if you're curious. But yeah, just, I mean, that's pretty much it in terms of my journal. But yeah, I have been struggling. I've been struggling a lot with my journal. But that being said, I have not been struggling with my memory log. I know this is really boring to show you guys, but I'm just kind of proud of it, really. Honestly, I only show this because of how proud I am, how consistent I have been doing my memory log day by day. Well, I missed like a day there, but whatever. For the most part, and it's just been really an actual useful tool to me. And this was like from today. This is working for me right now. And I don't really feel the need to journal in my Hobonichi cousin right now because this book is working for me. And in a weird way, I feel like this is all of the journaling that I need right now. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I don't really need to journal in an extra book right now. And it's kind of a weird, I feel like it's contradicting everything I said in the past. But I mean, you know, that's the beauty of journals and planners and all of these notebooks, is that they are tools to serve us, not the other way around. And what's so interesting with this like hobby in general and using these books as a tool is that like your needs change. They can change daily, you know? And for me, my needs have definitely changed from 3 months ago or 2 months ago when I said that I would definitely be using my A5 Hobonichi next year. Right now, I think my plans are going to be pretty much wiping out everything I said. Whenever the last video I made where I was planning out what I would use for 2026, and my needs may continue to change until the end of the year, until January. Like, and that's fine. Like, it's here to serve us and to serve a purpose. And if it needs to change a million times, then so be it. I think the only times it gets like troublesome is if you're kind of like changing notebooks around because you're being influenced by other people. I do think there is kind of like a fine line there, where sometimes it can be a little bit unhealthy to consistently want to change notebooks out of FOMO. And that I feel like is a different kind of issue in general. But for me, my issue is that my needs are changing. And that also means I need to figure out how my books are going to serve me, like with the changes happening. Just going to keep using this as my memory log because it's helpful. I love this cover to death. It's so soft and cozy. It's like a teddy bear. That's kind of the status report with the journaling. So, I mean, this might be a little bit of a shock to some of you because, you know, I rave about my cousin like nonstop, I think, in every journaling video. But right now, with all of the changes happening in my life, I definitely need to prioritize planning. So that is why I have introduced a potential new book for next year. And this is a Midori Hibino. So this is actually a 2025 dated one. I got this one super discounted from 26 Market for like $20 or something like that. I mean, it's the end of the year, so to be fair. But that's okay because really I just wanted to pick this up to see, like to do like a test run before picking up like the 2026 copy. Because this booklet is actually not very cheap. At least here in Canada, I feel like it's not very cheap at all. The 2026 books are like $60 or something like that. I mean, it's pretty much on par with pricing for like the Hobonichi cousin. But because it would be a completely new system for me and it's quite expensive, I didn't want to just YOLO into it. So I'm really glad that 26 Market did have a very discounted 2025 version because I was honestly just like gonna go on eBay and see if anyone was selling their like 2025 or unused 2024 even, just to play around in it and see if I would like it because I really liked the way it looked. So right off the bat, I gotta shout out Little Coco Studio because she is the one who made a video about this book. And if you haven't watched it, like I absolutely recommend you watching it because I think it's like one of the best videos out there that shows the Hibino. So I will have her at link in the description below. It is a little book and it is a thick book. It's a little fat book. And the cons with books like this is writing on the left page can be a bit of a challenge, as you can probably see, because you know, you would have to be writing like this for a while until you get to like the middle of the book, and it's a chunky booklet. So right off the bat, I already knew that this book would have some pros and cons, but I was very, very intrigued by the system in general. I also just really like the look of it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people who doesn't really love the Hobonichi like UI or whatever you want to call it, like the insides. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with the colors or anything like that. I think everything's very neutral and pretty. What I don't like is the quoting on the bottom, and I don't necessarily love the way that it's divided. And I mean, a lot of people love the way that the inside of the Hobonichi is laid out. The techos. I think I just don't love all of the extra stuff. And the thing that really that intrigued me about this book is just how minimal and simple the layout is. I also am very, very much a fan of the brown, like the brown text and the cream paper. So like, it's probably hard to tell, but it is much more of a cream color than the techo. See the difference? Is pretty noticeable when you put them side by side. But yeah, so this paper is a truly cream paper. This is like truly an experiment. Like this is truly an experiment. I picked up the old one for discounted for a reason, because I cannot definitively tell you guys that I'm going to switch over to a Hibino in 2026. However, I'm highly considering it right now because of all the changes and all the needs I have. Just to give you the general gist, it is an A6 size notebook, but it is more or less double the size of a techo because it is 2 pages per day. So it's daily pages, but there's 2 pages. Basically, the idea is that this would be my like life planner, like a life planner or personal life planner, I guess. And the reason that I am thinking about this instead of, you know, like just sticking with the Filofax, because you might be wondering like, well, okay, if your Filofaxes are working really well for you and you've been liking it since like, I don't know, for the last like 6 months or so, or 7 months, like why stop there? And why not just, even if I don't have my job anymore, like why not just keep using these planners? It's not that I think that I need to stop using the Filofax planners or that they wouldn't work for me. The problem is that the layout I'm using right now is weekly. So if I do continue using a personal size Filofax, for example, for 2026 as my main planner, I would have to change the layout so that it's more of a daily pages instead of this weekly layout. Because things are going to be changing in 2026 in a big way, I think I do need a bigger planner system. And this one, this is my pocket planner. As you guys know, like I'm using this as my content planner. I do think that this is working fine as a content planner, and I really like the pocket size. I like that it's portable. I like that it's very easy to fill it in. I don't think this is going to change. I think in 2026, I'm still going to use this as my content planner. All of these can change around, and that's totally okay. It's totally fine. But I do think that I feel pretty happy with a pocket content planner as of now. So that's my thought. Now, I'm also going to show you guys a little wee experiment that I've been doing in this book. All I've been doing really, I haven't been using this as a functional book because again, this is outdated, but I've been using it to experiment and it's been kind of fun if I'm being honest. So I just thought about like how I wanted to set this up. And basically I wanted to be like, just like a full personal life growth, whatever planner. Like I wanted to have everything in here. So I started playing around with some of the layouts to like how to utilize like the second page in the day. And it is probably going to be quite robust. Now, this is where I started getting kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like I got a little crazy with this page, but I thought about it, okay? And the idea here is to use the timestamps to schedule out my day and create a daily schedule. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of go through my plan and idea potentially starting in 2026, because the biggest like change for me is that I'm going to switch my career. saying that and hearing it coming out of my mouth feels really, really scary. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I sound weird right now, that's why. It's like, ooh, girl, ooh, do you really want to do that? Also, let me just shout out Little Coco Studio again, because her comment on my video is actually something that inspired me, like truly inspired me to do this, because she mentioned she also switched her career. That comment really inspired me. Like, I just want you to know, you really inspired me to just kind of not be afraid, you know, not be afraid to switch if that's what I want to do. And in kind of the same boat, like, I'm switching from something creative to something a little bit different in general. Maybe I'm being a little superstitious, but I don't want to say what I'm switching my career to or what I'm potentially switching my career to, because I don't want to jinx it. I am not really superstitious, but in a way, like, I feel like if I put it out there and I'm not 100% sure, like, I don't know. I just feel like there's something taboo about putting something out there that you're not 100% sure about, especially a big career change. So when the time comes, I will talk more about the career change. But all that to say, I'm experimenting. I'm figuring out what might work for me. And so I kind of experimented with a potential layout. This looks a little bit intimidating, I know, because there's a lot of writing in here, but because the book is so small, I don't know, I write small, I think that this is like a perfect amount of space for me. So I kind of was basically like trying to figure out a layout that would work for what my needs are for this shift in career, which is gonna entail me taking classes and me reading information about, you know, more of the topics. So there's a lot of learning. I will also be learning some other things. Like, I really want to learn Figma. It's a program, kind of like Photoshop, but for UX UI designers or visual designers. So I don't know, I'm just forward thinking with when I created like these potential layouts. And the other thing that I wanted to do with this experiment was to see if this was too much space, like, for me, like if it was going to be overwhelming. Because if it became overwhelming for me to like even practice filling out this space, then I know it's not going to work for me. But actually, I almost feel like I need a little bit more space, but it's actually perfect. So I would have a daily schedule. And the daily schedule is going to be more important for me now because, again, if I don't have things scheduled and organized and figured out, I will just be a lazy bum and not do anything. So the schedule is going to be very important for me. And then on the side here, I think that this would be a great space for my productivity log. So I want to keep track of my productivity. Like, for example, I said 1 to 2 hours working on updating my portfolio and resume. And then like 1 to 2 hours of class learning or whatever I'm learning. So in this case, Figma. And then like some notes about today's learning. So this is just some notes of what I learned today. Obviously, I would use a dedicated notebook for any class learnings, but like, or like whatever classes or online courses I'm taking. But this would be kind of like a gist or some like quick notes. So one of the things I want to improve in 2026 is just like health in general, like physical health, just like eating better and, you know, all that good stuff. I've been severely slacking with my health. So a little food log would be great. Just like a little section of like exercising, like doing 10K steps a day or something, 20 minutes of stretching, an hour of yoga, etc. And then the physical symptoms like heart palpitations, anxiety, headaches, migraines, nausea, like all the stuff that I feel like I am constantly dealing with. So I want to keep better track of all of that. And then this like right section here would be like a pet log. And then here would be like a hobby log. Just like writing in my memory log journal, decorative journaling, just stuff like that. And it's not like super important, but I want to keep track of like what I've been, how much time I spend on like journaling and stuff like that. And then a mental health log down here. So like how I'm feeling and like all that stuff. And then a little section for anything I've spent money on. So really I'm trying to think of this as like a catch-all because I really, like my dream fantasy planner, if I can get there, is to have an all-in-one planner. Just like everything there laid out for me to find very easily on one day. And I continued to do the experiment again here, except with this one, I was just kind of experimenting with like little light illustrations and just like maybe breaking up the page in a more aesthetic way. So really there's no difference here besides this looking a little aesthetically cuter just because I have some drawings in there. Like I said, I don't really want to use, I don't really want to like tape anything in here. Maybe I will use a sticker or two occasionally. Maybe I can use stickers, but I just don't want this to bulk up because I mean, it's already bulked up. And then I just kept it going. I think this might be the last one actually. Yeah. So this is my last experiment, basically just trying to make this like more interesting and cuter. And the nice thing about it is that I don't have to do the same layout every single day. As long as I have all the information that I want to write about, I can change up the aesthetics and the way it looks like as many times as I want, you know? That's just been my cute little experiment. And then I did create like another layout page, but it didn't really... I thought I had another random page that I was experimenting with. But yeah, I mean, that's it. I was just kind of seeing how to fill up the space, how I wanted to fill up the space. This planner does have the monthly section, which I also like the layout of this monthly section as well. I just really like the colors of this book in general. I am notoriously bad about using the monthly section of any planner, hence why I don't have a monthly section like this in my actual planners. But with the Filofax ones, I do have that pull out, that weird like accordion style monthly section, which I honestly do like, but it is very small, like spacing wise. So it's kind of, you know, depending on how much you want to write, it's not like everyone's cup of tea, but I do like it. I'm just not very consistent with that either. But because this book does have a monthly section, I do want to utilize this a little bit better in 2026, which I think because of all the different things going on, I will actually have things I can write in here because my problem really is that there's just nothing eventful going on month to month that warrants me like taking time to like fill out the monthly sections. I mean, yeah, I could fill out the monthly sections right now and until December because there's a lot going on, but then the rest of the year is just like MIA. But yeah, so that's my little Midori Hibino experiment. So the negative thoughts, again, like I said in the beginning, is really just like the first couple of months, like I think up until April, it might be a little bit annoying to write on the left because of, you know, just the way it sits. But when I wrote in this, I was writing it like this, like where I'm holding the right side like this, and it was fine. Like, I think it was fine. Because it's not a journal, I think it's okay if the writing is a little bit messier and like not aesthetic. It's just a planner. Like, I don't really feel like this isn't aesthetic. Like, it's just writing, you know, but with my journals, I like with my Hobonichi cousin, for example, like I do get annoyed when I can't write nicely on the left side because it's a journal, so I feel like I want my handwriting to be a little bit neater. But with the planners, like I don't really care as much, so it's fine. Like, I mean, this is still neat, but also I'm not writing like long drawn out sentences here. I'm just writing out a schedule of things I want to do, what time I want to wake up, what time I want to go to bed, what time I want to walk the dog, etc. And then just like some notes pretty much. So it's not really, it does seem annoying. It is annoying, but it's not too bad, honestly. So that's just my thought. I don't know. Like, ultimately, I don't know if I want to actually get the 2026 one and like commit to it. I do think that with this book, like if you decide to get this book, it is like a commitment. Like you really kind of have to go into this book, even more so than any of the Hobonichi books. I feel like with this one, you do kind of have to go into it with a sense of commitment because it's such a thick book. If I stopped using this here, which is February, right? I would have this whole chunkster of a book left that I just wasted. So in a way, I just feel like from the way it is, like, I do think that you kind of have to commit to this book. Like when I say you, I mean me. I feel like I need to commit to this Hibino if I'm gonna get it, if I'm seriously gonna purchase it. And usually, you know, I'm pretty bad when it comes to like impulse purchasing. Like I'll just get whatever because I think it looks nice and F it, just go for it. Treat yourself, whatever. But with this one, I actually do feel a little bit nervous because A, this book is not cheap. And B, it's a big planner. Like it's a thick planner. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can't really hide from the fact that you wasted it. You know what I mean? Like you can't hide from this because it's a thick booklet. It's not going to take up that much space in your drawers, but it's still going to take up space because she's so thick. So like, I don't feel guilty. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to fill this like out, but I'm going to be using, I'm going to be repurposing this book as an experimental like journal, notebook, and just like, I don't know. It's a really small book and I feel like I can just throw it into my bag. So I'm using it as like scratch notes. Like, I mean, again, I just have like random notes here with some of my pens. I do like the paper. I was checking out the if it bled through or not, so I used fountain pens here with all different thickness in the nibs, and none of them bled through. So really good sign of the paper quality. The paper does feel really nice. I really like this paper. So right now I'm going to repurpose this as just a scratch notes. Maybe just use it as my new brain dumps book. If you guys remember, I was using this Moleskine one last year and into this year. And it's still just, it's a mess. I really just use this to like test fountain pens and like write random notes. But it is a little bit intimidating to use because it's kind of a big book. But it's blank. It's blank. It's not dated or anything. So it's not a big deal if I don't fill out all the pages. With this, I do think it'll be nice to just use it as like a brain dumping book. I don't want to waste it, even though I got it for a really good price. Like $20 is still $20, you know what I mean? So it is something I'm thinking about before jumping into it. I'm going to play with it a little bit more and just see how I'm liking it. I don't know for sure. We still got a couple of months of the year left to make that decision, but yeah, it's a maybe. Anyway, yeah, I am going to leave it at that. Actually, remember how I told you earlier on about like fighting perfectionism? I am going to play this little clip from Vanilla Mace. I've been obsessed with Vanilla Mace, by the way. She's a Twitch streamer. I love her so much. I love her content. Her vlogs are amazing. And she inspires me so much with her own vlogs. But I'm going to leave this clip that is from her video. And it's a clip of me just like journaling while she's talking because I like watching her in the background. But if you want to check out her channel, I'll leave her at also in the description below. I absolutely love what she has to say in this clip. So I'm just going to let her speak on what I'm feeling because she's going to say it better than me anyway. But that's all from me today, and I will see you guys in the next one.
The first time you do something, it doesn't have to be perfect as well. That's legit part of the process. If you are somebody who also wants everything to be perfect on the first try, you're just never going to get anything done because you're going to try to perfect it so much that you don't even actually try to attempt to do the thing.
Wait, is this play about
So I'm clocking all you perfectionists out there. If you're like, oh, no, I can't do this because I need to, like you say, if it's like for content creation, you're like, no, I can't start making videos until I have like a really expensive editing software and I have a really expensive camera and I can't start. No. Well, then you're never going to do it. Because girl, when are you going to get the money's not going to come out of thin air for you to go buy all this shit. Like, you just got to start. You just got to start and just do it. But that goes for anything, you know? Everything doesn't have to be perfect. I actually urge you to do things not perfectly. I think that's great. I love seeing people be themselves and be like authentic to who they are. I actually stray away from anything that seems perfect. But I saw a video today of a girl talking about how you're craving authenticity from creators and people on the internet, and you're not getting it because everyone is holding creators up to this standard that they have to be so perfect. so perfect, so media trained, so like XYZ 24/7 all the time. And that's why you're not getting that authenticity from people, because you hold them to such a high standard that they're not even allowed to make a mistake. Or yeah, and I'm not talking about like obviously like cancelable offenses, like really really bad, like unforgivable obviously, but like minor things that like somebody makes a like, I feel like a lot of times now that people are held to this like unachievable standard. And you almost see it with a lot of creators too, where maybe some of their content when they first started out seems different to the stuff that they post now, and they seem more like media trained or professional and like just not the same person, and you're like, oh, their content doesn't feel the same. Unfortunately, it's because of people, like because of the audience. Sometimes, not all the time, but I feel like you just have to let people like be themselves sometimes, and if people make mistakes along the way, that's okay. You have to hold people to the same standard that you hold people in your real life, you know? Like if you're able to forgive somebody in your normal day-to-day life for something, then you should be able to like forgive like somebody that you like on the internet about something like something that's not that big of a deal or whatever.